What's up, everybody? Welcome to the K-Pop Kimchi Podcast, your number one source for girl groups. I'm your host this week, Fog Raw, because Justin is out of town on vacation right now. So we all know what that means. Solo episode by me. So, before we get into that, I actually listened to a couple cool K-pop things this week. And by this week, I mean yesterday when I was at work. The first thing I heard was this little EP by a boy group called Just Be. Never really listened to him before. But the EP was called Just Odd and it came out on March 28th. And it's actually extremely good. I mean, it's only 4 songs, but all 4 of them are really awesome. I really like the song Chest. So if you haven't heard that, check that out. Oh, also, my boy Ilhoon came out with his own little album thingy the other day. It's extremely good, so check that out. Go support him. Hopefully one day he can go back into B2B and we can get OT7, like I always wanted. And then lastly, K-pop, not K-pop, K-pop adjacent, however you want to quantify it, is Cat's Eye with their song Gnarly, which is the sickest song I've heard in all of 2025 so far. I heard a lot of mixed reviews on it. Some people liked it, some people didn't like it. Personally, I loved it. It's that kind of noise pop, or just noise in general, where it's like noisy music, but not for like the sake of making noise. It kind of has like a purpose to it, if that makes sense. So if you guys have ever listened to any of my like recommendations for non-K-pop music that I listen to, you would very much understand where I'm coming from here, because it's something that I just really love. With that being said, the thing that it reminded me of the most is a group called 100 Gecs. So I'm going to recommend the song Hollywood Baby by 100 Gecs as my Not What You Came For this week. It's a very different type of song. I honestly don't really know how to explain it. It's kind of all over the place, but it's got a very good like beat to it, which is really catchy. It gets stuck in my head all the time. Justin and I actually watched a video one time, and it was like them performing it live, and it was like the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. One of them was dressed like a wizard. I know literally like nothing about these people, but they were popular for a hot minute. And yeah, great song. Probably listen to a clip. Hopefully it doesn't get us banned this week, but check them out. Now, since this is a solo episode dedicated to me and what I want to talk about, I don't really remember what I did last time I had my solo episode, which was probably last year sometime. But this time, it's going to be my top 25 Purple Kiss songs of all time. I know what you're thinking. Wow, they have more than 25 songs? And the answer is yes, they do. Not by many, but they have probably around, I'd say, 40-ish, 50-ish, somewhere in there. But I narrowed it down to my top 25 songs, which is actually just all the songs on my Purple Kiss playlist that I then listened to multiple times in order to get this order. I knew what my top maybe 4 or 5 were from the beginning. The other ones I kind of had to fill in there while I was listening to them. I'm going to run down the list and tell you what the song is and where the song came from in the discography. And once we get into the top 10, I'll start adding in some like music clips and stuff like that so you guys can hear what I'm talking about. So coming in at number 25 is Love Is Dead off their 4th EP, Geeky Land, that came out in 2022. 24 is a more recent one because it's Bittersweet from their 6th EP, BXX, from 2024. Number 23 is Skip Skip from their 1st EP, Into Violet, from 2021. Number 22 is Hate Me, Hurt Me, Love Me off the 3rd EP, MEM, from 2022. Number 21 is Twinkle from their 2nd EP, Hide and Seek, from 2021. Number 20 is Summer Rain from their 4th EP, Geeky Land, in 2022. And then number 19 is their first lead single I have on my list, and that's On My Bike from their 7th EP, Headway, from 2024. Next up we have Seven Heaven off their first digital single, Festa, from 2023. Number 17 is Autopilot from their 5th EP, Cabin Fever, from 2023. Then at number 16, we have our next lead single, which is Nerdy off their 4th EP, Geeky Land, from 2022. Then we have at number 15, Toy Boy from their 6th EP, BXX, from 2024. Then at 14, we have Pretty Psycho from their 3rd EP, MEM, from 2022. Number 13, we have Can't Stop Dreamin' from their 4th EP, Geeky Land, in 2022. At number 12, we have My, which was a holiday single that they released in 2021. Very Christmassy, I love it. It's a very, very good original Christmas song. Number 10, we have Ajit from their 5th EP, Cabin Fever from 2023. Now we're going to get into our top 10 songs. And like I said, I'll add some clips in here so everybody knows what I'm talking about. But these are my favorite ones that I've heard. I will say, given all my mood or, time of year, whatever's going on, the top, well, I guess at least number 10 could be switched in and out with anything from 11 through 25. Also, I'm not saying that the ones at the bottom were like my least favorite. I just don't listen to them as much as the ones that I'm going to be listing off here in a second. Number 10 is what I think is maybe the most underrated song that they have. And that's Cursor from their 3rd EP, MEM, from 2022. It's a very good song. I feel like it's more like kind of on the ballady side as much as you can get without actually being a ballad. It's kind of like slow. And it's got like a nice little like nightclubby kind of electronic-y kind of sound to it going in the chorus and bridge and stuff like that. If you've heard it, you know what I'm talking about. It's really good. At number 9, we have another lead single, and that is Sweet Juice off their 5th EP, Cabin Fever from 2023. And believe it or not, we always talk about how we've listened to them since the very beginning when they debuted, which is very true. And we always followed their comebacks and stuff, but none of them really like hit home runs for us when we listened to them. And I remember when Sweet Juice came out, everyone in the Discord was like, oh, the song's really good, the song's really good. And I'm like, I'll check it out. And I was like, yeah, it's okay, but I think some of their B-sides are better. But after we saw them in Kentucky with Brett, we were listening to it on the way home and watching some live stages of it. And I kid you not, Sweet Juice live stages is what saved Purple Kiss for us after seeing it in Kentucky. It like made us want to go see them in Chicago. And that is really what turned the tides in their favor for them being my favorite group that currently exists at this point in time. At number 8, we have Panzana, which is their lead single of their 1st EP, Into Violet, from 2021. And funny story about this, I think I said it last week. Apparently last year I was the top 0.01% of people who listen to Panzana on Spotify. Don't know if it's a lot, don't know if it's a little, but based on those numbers, it seems like I'm the only one listening to it. That is extremely, extremely rare company to be in. So if you're one of the other people in the other 0.01% of listeners to Panzana, hit me up, because that is a very exclusive club. I'll make us all buttons or something. Also, they have like a little dance break thing that they hit at all of their concerts, and every time we've seen them live, I've recorded that one part because it's just so sick. Every single time it's awesome. Next up at number 7, I have another song that I feel is extremely underrated, and that is the song So Why from their 2nd EP, Hide and Seek from 2021. This is one of those ones I definitely don't ever see anybody talking about. I'm not really sure why, because it's extremely good. Maybe it's just the people I talk to in my circles, but I think it's a very good song and more people should have it in like their top 10 or 5 lists or whatever you want to call it. Next up at number 6, we have another lead single, and that's Zombie off their 2nd EP, Hide and Seek. The same as the last song, So Why. And Zombie's really good. I remember watching it when it came out, and I was like, dang, this is very colorful. Like, this is completely different from the other stuff that they had, because we were still expecting stuff to be like My Heart Skip a Beat from the pre-release. And then after that, they had like the little ballady pre-release song. And then this came out, and I'm like, wow, this is really fun, kind of upbeat. This is very much different than what I was expecting it to be. But another thing that helps this song get so high on my list is every time we've seen it live, it's like a crowd favorite. So everyone just like freaks out, and it's just amazing. I love it. Really, really good title track. Also, it has my favorite hair that Dosi ever had. It was like the split hair. I got a real love for that haircut because it was really cool. Now we're getting to our top 5. Number 5 is another great song that I feel like a lot of people should respect more. And that's Oh My Gosh off their 3rd EP, MEM, from 2022. This is another song, I feel like I say this on all of them, so sorry I keep repeating myself, but I just never hear anybody talking about anything outside the title tracks. And then maybe like Autopilot or Toy Boy. Well, I hear a lot of people also talking about Pretty Psycho. I hear people talk about that. It's kind of crazy though to think about it. I don't hear a lot of people outside of the main fandom people, even if they do, talk about their B-sides that much. And coming into like liking Purple Kiss and since the beginning, since we were watching them, I always said that they were one of those groups that had B-sides that were just as good, if not better, than their title tracks. So they were just like all around a really good group. But yeah, oh my gosh, great song. Number 4, we have another lead single, and that's actually MEM, the lead single off their third EP, MEM, off the same album as Oh My Gosh. And this was when I remember watching this. We might have watched this for a podcast episode now that I think about it. But I remember seeing this and I'm like, this is the dark concept that I was looking for. 'Cause this song goes so hard, the beat is sick, Yuki's raps are always awesome, and the video's kind of crazy because at the end it had like this crazy like 3D generated like statue thingy, and I'm like, that's kind of creepy. But this was a very, very good switch up from, I guess, the zombie era into something a little darker and a little more intense in my opinion. And yeah, I just remember watching this video when it came out. Like I said, I think we watched it maybe for like a Halloween thing or something a couple years ago. And I was like, wow, this song slaps. Still really good. It hits every time I hear it in the car. In live. Next up, at number 3, we have My Heart Skip a Beat from the pre-debut single from 2020. And this actually was featured on their first EP, Into Violet, as well. It's just kind of like farther down the line. It wasn't one of the titles on that or anything. But oh my gosh, I remember the song coming out and thinking, this is like everything I loved about Dreamcatcher, but better. Like, they're going places. This is Dreamcatcher 2.0. And I was like, man, I can still remember to this day, we were just sitting there watching. I'm like, these girls are freaking sick. And had a bunch of the girls that I really liked from Produce 48, and we had been waiting for them to debut for a long time, specifically Going. And I'm like, this has all the makings of being a super, super sick group. And then after that, we always just kind of expected them to hit it out of the park with songs like My Heart Skip a Beat and more like rocky songs, and never really happened. I feel like it's part of the reason why they never really reached our expectations from the beginning when we were watching them, is because we kept holding everything to a standard of My Heart Skip a Beat, and it just wasn't. And honestly, that's on us. I speak for Justin too, because he's the exact same way. So that was kind of an us problem more than it was a them problem. But yeah, My Heart Skip a Beat, still to this day, super great song. They know it's a great song because every time they play it live, they're like, this is a fan favorite, so the fans want to hear it, and then they play it, and it's awesome. Now, top 2. Now, my number 2 song was my number 1 song for a very, 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 very long time. Like, since I heard it, this was my favorite song by them. And it's Cast Pearls Before Swine off their second EP, Hide and Seek, from 2021. And something about this song is just so catchy, so fun. The music video is super colorful. They're all wearing like really cool basketball jerseys in different colors and everything. And it's just, I don't know, whenever I hear it, just gets me going. Like, gets me in that peppy mood. And I can't wait to hear it live. I've seen them 6, 7 times now, and I've never heard it. I know they've kind of hinted at there's some other B-sides they really want to play live that the fans want to hear, but they just couldn't fit on the set list. I'm guessing this has to be one of them because they've talked about it before. And I don't know. If I ever heard this live, I'd freak out. Hopefully they come back in the fall like they said they might, and I'll get to hear it, because that would like make my entire life. Because, I mean, we've achieved a lot of stuff with Purple Kiss. Watching them, seeing them, meeting them, talking to them, like anything you can really imagine. And the one thing I've not got yet is seeing Cast Pearls Before Swine live. So that would be like the last check on my Purple Kiss bucket list. So hopefully I'll get to see that before they disband. Which means my number 1 song is BBB, the lead single off their 6th EP, BXX, from 2024. And we've said it before, and I'll say it again. This song just hits it out of the park. And this was the song we were waiting for all these years to really just put them over the edge to make us want to like super stand alt them as a group. This is one of those songs where even if another group sang it, I'd be like, this song's so sick. Like, this is like one of the best songs I've ever heard. It's got everything that we really like in K-pop. It's more fun. It's definitely got a catchy beat. And it's just something about it just like clicks on all cylinders. And if I'm being completely honest, it'd be hard for me to argue as this not being my favorite K-pop song like of all time. I actually asked Justin the other day, I was like, messaged him and I'm like, is BBB by Purple Kiss my favorite song of all time? And he goes, you know what? It might be. I'm like, man, you're right. I wish he was here to back me up on this because it's 100% true. I think about it all the time, and it might have the staying power to dethrone my previous favorite songs of all time, which, I mean, has really only been one song. So, I mean, if it beats that out, then it's going to be number one. But if it's not number one, it's definitely number two. I love it so much. Just brings me back good memories because that's also like when we took our first trip to Canada, and it was just a great experience. Everybody we met was really cool. The concert was really fun. And I honestly think about it every single day. So whatever I think about Purple Kiss, all the great memories of all the fun experiences I had over the last year really come back to me. And BBB really just encompasses all of that together in like one song. Also, the choreo is really fun. The girls always look super happy when they're like dancing to it and just out there on stage. And this has got to be my like number one favorite Dosi look of all time with like a really fuzzy hat on her head. So there you have it, my top 25 Purple Kiss songs. Maybe one day I'll get Justin together and we can both do our top 10 girl group songs of all time and see how high some of these rank on my all-time list, because I know there'd be probably more than one, honestly. Unless I like have to handicap it to just one like I try to do, because it's kind of more interesting that way instead of me just being like, oh, my top 15 songs of all time. And all of them are just Purple Kiss songs. But I think that's all I really got for you guys this week. Sorry it's kind of a short episode. Well, it's kind of like a one-sided conversation. There's a little less talking, I guess, so a little less banter back and forth, so the episodes are kind of shorter. Justin should be back next week from his vacation, and we'll come at you with something cool. Obviously, my idol of the week this week's got to be Dosi. It's a top 25 Purple Kiss songs list, so she's going to be number one on everything anyways. So Dosi's my idol of the week. Good job, Dosi. You're in a great group with a bunch of great other members. Maybe I'll just make everybody my entire idol of the week. You know what? All of Purple Kiss, the entire group's my idol of the week. But there you have it. So let me know what your guys' favorite Purple Kiss songs are. You can either comment it or send me a message or something. I'd love to know. I love talking to anybody about Purple Kiss just because I love them so much. And like I said, Justin will be back next week. We'll do something fun. But until then, have a great week next week, and we will talk to you later. Peace.